start with the work session topics. I have 4 different topics on. The first topic is handicap parking. So I put this topic on the agenda today because as mayor, I'm the chief complaint officer, meaning that I receive most complaints or requests, or when people don't know to email the police department directly or the manager's office directly, they go to the mayor. So I get a lot of emails about parking-related applications, statuses, people who have existing licenses that maybe have trouble with people parking in their spots, or people who know someone in the area who has passed away and they want it removed. I deal with them all, and I have a great working relationship with our chief. I take those requests, I reply to the resident, and I CC the chief, and the chief usually has his people get right on that. So imagine how I felt when I stumbled upon the fact that apparently it has been policy now for some time in Belleville that we are no longer either entertaining handicap parking or accepting permits or issuing permits. I'm saying maybe because I don't know. I have asked questions, I have not gotten answers. I've asked specific questions as to when this apparently stopped. I haven't gotten that answer. I've asked how it stopped. Was it an email? Was it a memo? Did somebody write an email? Did somebody from the Fed come in and shut it down? Did the state tell us no more? Where and how did it stop? I haven't gotten those answers. So out of frustration, I had to put it on the agenda, so hopefully everybody's assembled here today, and I, as long as the residents, as long as those viewing and those that are concerned about, does it affect existing permits? Does it affect only new permits? Does it affect people under renewals? I, for one, have had those conversations with the manager. I do agree with him in many regards. There are issues that need to be reined in. Are there people taking advantage of handicap parking? Probably. I don't feel that then you punish everybody, especially the people who have wheelchairs or motorized vehicles. I don't think you punish everybody because of a few. I think you tighten up the rules, you tighten up the policies, tighten up the procedures. I know for a fact that applications come in are not rubber stamped. They don't go from the police department to this council to vote on. I know there's a vetting process. I know their applications are renewed. I know the police department actually goes out and conducts inspections. So if there's an issue, maybe we tighten up some of those parameters rather than me being told hearsay in this building last week, oh, we don't do that anymore. That's what I was told. And when I asked when the procedure stopped, I was told November. I have asked for documentation. I've not gotten an email, have not gotten a memo. I don't even know, and I have concerns legally as to whether or not anybody in this building, whether it's the manager or anybody, can come in here and say, there's an ordinance on the books, the council voted on it, but we're no longer doing that anymore. Well, then you got to undo the ordinance. You know, like, let's just figure it out. If the policy of this township is going to be no more handicap parking, fine. I'm not fine with it, but that's fine. Make that recommendation to the governing body, let the governing body vote on it. Now Belleville no longer has handicap permits, but to just stop it and not tell anybody, and for me to be told 3 months after the fact, oh, we stopped doing that, or we no longer do that, you can imagine how I feel when I'm the one that fields all the emails from people that truly, truly do need these things. Is there abuse? Yes. Can we tighten it up with policies and procedures and all that back? Yes, we can. Taking it away from everybody is not, or taking it away from new people, I should say, is not something that I think we should do, and it's not something that should be made by anybody in this building. It should be made by this governing body because we're the ones that vote on the ordinance. We're the ones that vote on changing the ordinances every single time there's a new one to add. So, yes, it's insulting to not be told. It's insulting to ask questions repeatedly and not get answers. I'm still curious. I guess that's my first question today. How did this stop? When did it stop? Who stopped it? And how was it communicated? Those are the same questions that shouldn't come to a shock to the manager or the manager's office, because I've been asking those questions and not getting them. So hopefully now today, we just formed an accessibility committee. The fact that we just formed an accessibility committee and then I find out that we stopped handing out handicap parking permits and can't get any answers, I think people on that committee, I think the council governing body should want to know how and why this got stopped. So the floor is Mr. Manager. You're the guy in the seat, so I guess you have the answers.
So I believe this was a conversation between the chief and myself, and I thought it was after the last meeting, because I know there were handicap spaces on the agenda, last meeting, so it happened, I think, within the last month, which means it would have been brought to your attention this month. Through that conversation, it was some of the.
So there's no fact, there's no truth to the fact that we stopped issuing as of November? Because you just said it happened after last meeting, I would have known about it this meeting. So is there any truth to that?
I believe that was the case, correct? When did you come to me? Do you recall? After the last meeting. So you can't be.
Yeah, no, this is a conversation.
The manager said, it was a discussion. It was the end of the year, when the last meeting, we had some, but maybe prior to the meeting, if I'm being honest, we did discuss the abuse of handicap parking, and we agreed, manager, deputy manager, to pause. There's nothing stopped here. We are auditing our handicap process. The handicaps that are out there now are still in effect. We still issue placards to people that hang in their rearview mirror. But the system needs to be updated and changed somewhat.
I
There is
agree
an
with
abuse, okay, and I have to say, Mr. Mayor, I apologize that you weren't kept in the loop on this, and
Let's separate the fact of being
all right.
kept in a loop, which I appreciate.
Okay.
And me repeatedly asking and not getting answers. Two different things. And that's not you, by the way. Those
okay, well,
questions
that's
were not
what I want to make clear. So, all right, so again, this is a pause to reassess. We are auditing, right now, all the people that have handicaps are being asked to resubmit again. It's an audit, because some people become deceased.
So we never had,
Yeah, we got it, but
every year we,
I thought it was the perfect time
it is.
to do this, Mr. Mayor. So manager agreed with me. He said, go ahead, it's just a slight pause. We're still accepting applications. We still have them.
What's the backlog now that, since we did this, it's now paused and slight pause?
It's no different than it usually is, right, Dor? It's not, it's not overwhelming. It's not, but I've even been in contact with our township attorney, just going over some fine legal issues. If anyone on this council does not think they're being abused, then you're in a fantasy land. They are being abused.
They are being abused.
Okay? And we're going to attempt to fix that. We're not going to deny anyone who needs a handicap. That's not what we're here for. But we're going to update the system, maybe make a few changes. We are auditing it, and it should be back up and running soon.
So when I was told in this building, we're no longer doing handicap, that was incorrect.
I don't know who told you that, Mr. Mayor, but maybe they meant that it's on pause. Again, I don't know who you spoke to.
Do we have a timeline for this pause?
It should be I think we just got our most of the applications back. It should be sometime or next month, within next month.
So do we annually make people renew?
Yes,
Is that
and
what we
that's what
should?
yes, and we're going to even fine tune that some more too. There are some other options we may do. Again, I'm trying to do this with the town attorney's assistance to make sure we do it correctly.
I have checked with Bloomfield.
Bloomfield, by the way, glad you brought that up, Mr. Mayor. They're in the same process we are now. They're on pause right now, doing the same exact thing we're doing.
So they have
Because they are being abused also.
proportionally the same amount that we have, proportionate to the
And
population.
probably
of
the same amount of abuse. Again, like they have apartment buildings there, apartment 9, apartment 10, apartment 12, apartment 13, apartment 14. What happened to America? Everyone's like, is not healthy anymore. They need accessibility. Like,
Well, we don't just arbitrarily, they do get, I know the scam.
but what you need to
They
understand,
get a doctor's
and
note, they
I'm
get all
not
that
saying
stuff.
you do or don't, what you need to understand, what this council needs to understand, what everyone else needs to understand, you may feel that, oh, this guy's in a wheelchair, he deserves one. But this guy has a splinter in his finger, he doesn't deserve one. That's not how it works. I need to emphasize that again and again. It's not how it works. If someone gets a certified document from their physician, presented to us that they're handicapped, we cannot ask them, what is your handicap? It's not how it works. So you may say, oh, that guy, there's nothing wrong with him.
It's
He
not
has
a
a handicap.
disability where they can't walk. We don't know what it is. It could be a heart condition.
Again, it could be a or a splinter.
understand.
I'm telling you, something silly like
For
that.
7 years, I'm answering handicap
Right?
emails.
So,
I
again,
know it
I
well.
just got one the other day. The lady said an abuse of power on Ralph Street. She said everybody on the block has one.
thank you, Councilwoman. Again, this is what we're attempting to somehow correct.
Then what is the reason, so if we can't ask what their handicap is per se, how do we vet them to, I know for a fact we do turn people down, so.
Yes,
what,
because if they have, for instance, if they have a driveway, accessibility, it's all about accessibility. We don't even call them handicapped anymore. We
Right.
call them accessible parking. Okay?
I know we go out and check this stuff.
Yes, we do.
I know, it's not just the rubber.
And,
stamp.
and,
We
and
actually-
Mayor, if you're being honest, even after we deny them, you still get emails and calls, oh, I got denied.
Absolutely.
And if I may, Chief?
Yes,
and Mayor,
please.
I know for a fact, I mean, and I know you all do your job, but there are things that, there are out there that there should not be out there today, as of today on Union Avenue. I've individuals personally that I know, no longer here. So when, and just to be, to go with this conversation, we had a meeting Friday about budgeting, something different. And in there, this conversation, not only that meeting, Mayor, but other meetings came up, and I know you were in and out, you were running back and forth, sometimes you're consumed with a lot, but it was all talked about at a high level because it was coming down for the manager and assistant manager to talk about it today. So I just don't, I was a little thrown back that that came out, that email came out, and that post came out on behalf of us when I know Vinny, sitting in that meeting, and you were in and out, like I said.
Just to be
not
clear,
be
that meeting was Friday. I'm told we stopped it right before the last meeting, which was in December.
But my point is.
That would have been a month
in
and
the
a half
people-
gone by.
In the people that are in charge of this, which is the manager and the assistant manager and chief, that they were preparing to tell us, which we happened to just find out on Friday. So again, in and out, other obligations, whatever they may be, you would have known it, and that post would have went out, and then we would have just had a happy transition into where we're going to go now.
Got it.
That's
And guess when I also would have known? When I asked the question, when, if I got the answer. When I asked the question, how it was done, if I got the answer. If I asked the question, how long it's been, and I got the answer, it would have also been done. The fact that it was
Who'd you ask,
discussed,
if you don't mind me asking.
town manager. Emails, everything there, I have them if you want to see them, I can read
No,
them
no,
out
I just
loud.
asked.
Okay. So the fact that it was discussed at a Friday budget meeting where I didn't expect the handicap conversation to come, I'm not sure why that would even come up during a budget meeting, but,
Other things did.
so we're pausing, we don't have any timelines for when the pause ends?
Again, Mayor, I'm hoping,
And then do you come back to us with recommendations to amend the ordinance?
it may,
It needs to be amended.
Yes.
Nothing.
I think that's what's going to happen.
I've seen it.
Like it says nothing, there's nothing there.
You can certainly expect.
Federal law,
you
it's a
can certainly
ADA, and then it's
expect
state, and that's.
me to present you with an ordinance change amendment. You could certainly expect that, yes.
You said you sent out applications. The people that don't mail it back, we're gonna assume
We
they
remove
moved or deceased, they'll come and remove, because I have somebody across the street from me that's been gone.
Then please report that. Give
I
me the
will.
address.
I'll send
Yeah.
you an address. I don't think anybody parks there that, the guy uses
But
his
still,
driveway.
but still
let's
takes
get
up a
them-
spot.
It still takes up a spot, which we are very, again, you all are aware of this. We have no parking in this town. We're short parking. We have no parking. So again, to keep doling out these handicaps in there because people want to park in front of their house and they want to save their own spot. It's not what the intent of the legislation is for. It's for really seriously people, they can't have access, they don't have proper access to their vehicle from their home.
Okay.
Not to have a private spot. And that's what we have to try and curtail. And I saw a need for it, and I went to see the manager, and he agreed. So, sorry there was a communication gap, but this needs to be done, and you can expect some type of amended ordinance.
Okay, that
And
list,
with the
then the
help of-
council can
with the
discuss
help
it,
of
and we
Madam
can debate it, and we can vote on it, and then at least we have a say, or
Any-
we're, I don't, and again, Chief, I don't think you and I communicate 3 or 4 times a week on handicap parking, so I don't think it was necessarily the miscommunication issue, it's the fact that it wasn't told, I asked repeated questions and got nowhere with the answers.
Okay. But I.
Not your-
I
not
want
your
to-
domain, though.
I want to hope to put people at ease with nobody's spots being taken away. They could still use their spot. Our placards are still being issued. I still sign them out of the record room.
Issued even during the pause?
Those are handicap, they have nothing to do with personal accessible spots.
Okay, we're talking about
These
spots.
are handicap placards you put in your rearview mirror.
Got it.
Okay, so we're still doing that. Everything's still on. We're still accepting applications. It's just there's a pause right now. There's a pregnant pause, okay, for lack of a better, I don't know. We're pausing and we're gonna try and attempt to make this better for everyone involved.
I don't like when government pauses, but okay.
All right? I'm just telling you like it is. That's it. And you can expect an amendment, ordinance amendment. hopefully we'll move back on.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Mr. Manager, we're good?
Hoping we could pause other things.
Next one?
We only pause certain things, okay?